Okay, we're good.
All right. And today is God. So, good morning, everybody. Ready to go?
Yep.
Good morning, everybody. This is Friday, and it's Mindset Day. And here we are. So, the slaughterhouse of failure is not in our destiny. We will persevere until we succeed. Augmandino modified to say us and we instead of just that person. So today we've got a program. We're going to talk about you are a thermostat or a thermometer. Which one are you? You should be a thermostat. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Dan, you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we really want to be more like thermostats, right? Because they both measure heat, but they're quite different in what they do. Thermometers are passive. You know, they records the temperature, but it can't really do anything to change that environment. Whereas thermostats are active instruments, you know, the opposite of thermometers, and they determine what the climate will be. And it really helps affect change in your environment. And so, you know, the attitude of a leader should be much like a thermostat. We should be able to take the temperature of our team, the temperature of our environment, the temperature of our business, the temperature of whatever particular space that we're in, and change that atmosphere by encouraging people to accomplish great things, right? And changing the environment and being that change. So, you know, what's interesting about that is that, you know, when you create that environment for people, for your team, for your organization, it's going to lead to consistent accomplishment, and that generates momentum. And then from momentum, you know, many times momentum, it's the only difference between a winning positive growth climate and a losing negative growth climate. And so when Lawrence and I first started talking about this, we were talking about thermometers versus thermostats, and, you know, leaders really need to be environmental change agents. We need to be able to take the temperature of the business that we're in. You know, especially for us, we need to take the temperature of our team members. We need to take the temperature of our physicians that we're including in the business and are utilizing the scanner and the nutraceuticals in their practice. And so it's not just, you know, single faceted, it's multifaceted. And so we need to be able to be the thermostats for multiple different parts of our organization and help everyone move forward, create momentum through, you know, accomplishment, setting goals, and reaching those goals.
So the important thing is to gauge where everybody is. That's where we find out what the temperature is. Where is everybody at? And then we've got to act on that. And in order to be able to make changes, we have to, of course, understand our team, and we have to understand where we're going. So, you know, we've often talked about, for example, you have a flight plan from Miami to Rome, and, you know, for every 1 degree a plane veers off its course, it misses a target destination by 1 mile every 60 miles you fly. In other words, for every degree that we go off course, the destination will be 1 mile off for every 60 miles we fly. And it's the same as our business. If we don't constantly tweak it and check it and reanalyze it and see where we are and where we're going and are we on the right track and that sort of thing, you know, that's very important as well. So we're going to be talking about a 1 degree as well, because this is huge. You know, the mindset of goals, doing 1% more to reach your goal every day, 1 degree, 1%, 1 mile, all of these different cliches that we use are very important, but it all has to do with being a thermostat rather than a thermometer, where we are the motors that make things happen. Excuse me.
Right, and you know, the temperature of an organization is very important. We need to create a positive atmosphere within the people within our organization, because and that all starts not only with the people, but that also starts with the leader. The leader is a lot of times is the person that is going to create that positive atmosphere, which is going to then encourage people to accomplish some pretty great things, right? And so then what you see from that is that consistent accomplishment is going to generate that momentum that we need to make that difference between actually growing or negating that growth climate. And so, one of the things that I want everybody to think about is when you look at when you're boiling a pot of water, first of all, if you watch a pot of water boil, it seems like it takes forever. First of all, they say the watched pot never boils, but if you think about it, water boils at 212 degrees. At 211 degrees, it's nothing more than just a hot pot of water, right? But at 212 degrees, something interesting happens. It starts to boil. So the difference between a very energetic pot of water and just a boiling water and just a pot of hot water is really only 1 degree. And the difference between, if you think about how you utilize that energy to make a train move, right? At 211 degrees on a steam train, the train's not going to move. 1 degree more, and you start generating that steam, and all of a sudden you can move a train that weighs tens of tons, just utilizing that 1 degree difference in temperature change.
Right.
So, go ahead, Lawrence.
We show this little video. It's like a couple of minutes.
Yeah, go ahead. Lawrence, you need to share your screen, please.
Oh, sorry, am I not sharing my screen?
I don't think so. Are you?
Sorry, I thought I was.
Oh, you were. I'm sorry. I couldn't see it at first.
Oh, now.
Try that again. My apologies.
So, sorry. If I was sharing, so share screen. Oh, now I've lost the thing. See, this is where I really get flustered. Where is this thing now? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So, that's okay. While you're getting that, I'll continue. So, we really need to think about how this 1 degree of change, it really affects and relates to our organizations, right? It's through mindset. It's through setting goals, doing 1% more to reach your goals every single day. A lot of times we get under this misconception that we need to really make massive change to affect what we're doing or affect our goals. But it's a lot of small changes or small increases in productivity that are going to lead to reaching that goal. Okay, we can see it. I can see it now, Lawrence. Go ahead.
You see it now?
Yes.
So, sorry about the thing at the beginning, but you know, here, there's the thing was basically that in those notes with things that were, I think, were very beckoning to us: enthusiasm to passion, perseverance, and lots of short races. That's what our business is about as well. But then the winner, to the person that came first, the person came second, there's a difference in the race of 0.71 of a second. In the Indy 500, 1.54 seconds between the guy who came first, and the guy who came second. You know, we always remember who won the gold medal, but we never remember who came second or third, or even if you were in the race. So that 1 degree, that 1%, that one extra mile, that little bit more, it can make a humongous difference, absolutely humongous difference.
Yeah, so it's all about making those small changes to get to where you want to be, but also being able to track your progress. You know, utilizing the lead and the lag measures that we talk about with the 4 disciplines of execution. And we also need to stick to the fundamentals. You know, if we really want to affect that 1% change, we don't need to make huge strides in doing that on a daily basis. We need to make small strides, and we do that by sticking to the fundamentals. You know, if we're talking about recruiting, you know, how many calls are you going to do a day? How many 3-way calls are you going to do a day? How many, what are those daily activities that are going to move you forward? And then when we talk about, integration into physician practices, we need to stick to the fundamentals to affect that 1% change. You know, how do we integrate this successfully? How do we coach the physician to communicate this to their patients? How do we, integrate this efficiently into their practice to make it a success so it doesn't slow down their normal pathway to patient care? How do we, make this as simplistic as possible? Because the more we overcomplicate it, the more difficult it's going to become to be successful in these practices. And so we really need to look at how we're going to affect that 1% change, because that's going to make all the difference in the world as whether or not we're successful integrating this into a practice, and whether it's going to be successful with the patients. And and without that communication from the physician to patients, without that fundamental belief system in the practice that what they're doing ultimately benefits their patients, and without being able to communicate that effectively to the patients so that they know what they're getting and why this is important, none of this will be successful. And so, we need to really think about what that 1% change is that we can do, whether it be in recruiting or in the physician practice, to make this a success for everybody.
So, how to create a 1 degree difference. For example, offer outstanding, unforgettable service. So learn, be polished, be professional. Notice the needs around you, the people that we're talking to. Really notice who they are, what they need, how we can help them. Energize your team. Are we excited about the company, its products and its services? Include the team in goal setting, decision making, brainstorming sessions for new ideas. It's about the team. It's about all of us. United we stand, divided we fall, as it were. We've got to work as a think tank and be able to get better every day at doing something. Continue to get better. Energizing the team is hugely important. Noticing the people that we talk to. Be conscious. Get to know your team. Who is good at what? Who is excellent at what? Who needs coaching in something? So, these are all details that will help us go to the next level, to the next degree, to the next mile, to the next milestone.
When I was in medical device sales, I used to say to new people coming into the business, because when you're a salesperson, you're always looking for the next sale, always looking for the next sale. Where's that next sale? Where's that next sale? Right. And you're always chasing that because that's the high. That's the addiction, is getting that next sale. And a lot of people, what they do is they forget about their previous sales. The hard work's already done once you've sold something. Right. And in this business, the details, how we integrate this into a physician practice, how much time we spend doing that to make it successful, is where the rewards are going to be reaped in the end, right? So we need to start paying more attention once we place a scanner in a practice, spend a lot of time on the upfront training, making sure that it's a success. And so on our team, what we've done is we've all made a commitment that the next 2 to 3 scanners that we place, we're going to personally go there, make sure that we do the integration and stay there for as long as we need for that to be a success. Ultimately, we're all responsible for our own results, but as a group, we're stronger. And if we can all go out and get 2 or 3, 4 really, really productive scanners going and make this a real success in a lot of these practices, the more successful practices we have, the more success and the better results everyone's going to get, right? So it's a team concept, but ultimately we each need to take responsibility for our own results. And then as a conglomeration or as a team, we pull our individual successes together into team successes, and we're all going to grow exponentially once we do that.
And the team is not only the people that are distributors, encouraging people to get the scanners, but the team is also comprised of the people who have the scanners. Those are part of our team, and we have to be cognizant of why they are not maximizing their efficiency. How can we help them get better? How can we help them go from 3,000 points a month to 20,000 points a month, from having one subscription a day to 5 subscriptions a day, without being pushy, without trying to be salespeople, but by having belief in the company, in its products, in the science, in what we have. This is exciting stuff, but we take it for granted. Who the hell has 75 scientists working for them? We do. Who's got products in the PDR? We do. These are things we kind of take for granted. Science, technology, innovation, $60 million a year in R&D. These are things that should make us excited about part of the team we're working with. And those are the people who are actually in the trenches. Those are the people we should really be focused on as well. Be attentive to what they need, attentive to how we can help them, because ultimately it is their business, which is our business. And we selected healthcare professionals because they are influencers. They got people that go to the waiting room to see them, not us waiting to go and see somebody else. They've got that. So, the whole team, it comprises of being aware, to be in depth with knowing everybody on our team, whether they're our distributors or whether they're our scanner users.
You're exactly right, Lawrence. And we need to be a thermostat for both, right? Yes. But in my humble opinion, we need to be a thermostat for these physician practices first and foremost.
Yes.
Because without the success of those practices, we're not going to be successful as a business, right? We can't, just churn through hundreds and hundreds of bringing people into this business onto our team. We need to start thinking more about these physicians being our team members and being the leaders of our teams, because without them, we really don't have a whole heck of a lot on the scanner and the supplement side of the business, right? We need the physicians need us. We just need to be the thermostat for their physician practice. Take the temperature of what's going on in their practice, ask them for feedback, ask them for ideas of how they think it's going to best work in their practice. And then we help integrate that. But I think a big component of that, and what I've seen personally, are the, obvious, and it's very obvious, is the practices that I've integrated scanners into that are the most receptive to help, letting us take that temperature of that environment in their practice, how they're currently doing things, how we're going to make this successful. And then those practices that have somebody that's dedicated to making sure that this is successful in the practice, those are the practices that do the best, right? And so we need to stick to the fundamentals in finding the why for that particular practice, taking the temperature, what their purpose is. And I had a call with a very interesting gentleman on LinkedIn in the last couple of weeks, and he runs a healthcare marketing business, and we were talking about this business and how it relates to his business and how he goes about selling. What he really does is he helps physicians create their aspirational identity, is what he calls it. And essentially what that aspirational identity is what do they want? How does their practice and that particular physician want to be perceived by their ideal customers, right? And if somebody is getting into this business as a physician and wanting to integrate this into their practice, they're doing something different than anybody else, more than likely in their area. I use the example all the time with orthopedic surgeons because that's what I know the best. But in my hometown, there's 50 orthopedic surgeons. Every single one of them says, I'm the best orthopedic surgeon. I do the best total joint replacement. I'm the best trauma surgeon. You go on all their websites, every single one of them will say that, right? But that they're in the sea of sameness. Everybody's saying that. How do they differentiate themselves? They can utilize what we have as a tool to differentiate themselves to a physician that cares about the entire patient, not just what their particular specialty is, right? So we need to help them figure out what is their aspirational identity. How do they want to be differentiated from everybody else? And this is all being the thermostat, right? And not the thermometer. How do we help them figure out how they want to be perceived by their ideal customers, and how do we help them create that ideal customer base? And I firmly believe that when they do something that shows the patient that they care about them more than just what their specialty is, it's going to create a much stronger patient doctor relationship. And so, the other interesting thing that this gentleman said is that physicians are empathetic buyers. They buy based on empathy, which I never really thought about before. And that can be good and that can be bad. If they're buying on empathy, they may be buying because they want to help their patients and look at this as a great idea to truly help their patients. But empathy is one thing and efficiency is a completely different thing. And so they not only need to be empathetic buyers, but they also need to think about how this is going to be incorporated into their practice efficiently so that it doesn't create a disruption in their patient workflow.
So just think about this for a second. Imagine having a device, imagine having a practice, and somebody comes in to see you, and this person is a specialist. He's a professional person that can come in, and he's a person that can make and give intelligent and valid opinions. That's who we should become. We should sort of become consultants because we're visiting all kinds of specialists, or we speak to all kinds of specialists. We got all kinds of specialists in our groups, and each one is doing something. And if we know what each one is doing, and we can kind of casually mention, by the way, have you tried this? Or we found that this is also working, and that is something that hasn't been proven to be so efficient. They will look forward to seeing us because we're not just there to see how well our scanners are doing from our point of view. We're there to see how the practice is doing, how their patients are, what is important for them, what is important for the physician, their patients, and of course their bottom line, but their patients most of all. So if we focus on what we've got, rather than looking at, focusing all our time on new prospects, rather than that, instead of just the new prospects, focus on what we've got. Make them really efficient. Make the doctors help the doctors and the healthcare professionals and the scan operators. Love what they're doing. We've got to become your raving fans of the company, raving fans of the products, raving fans of yours. And then that will, organically expand. So, we can't afford to lose even 1 degree. Be open to new ideas and processes, and think about that extra mile, that extra degree.
Oh, yeah, focusing. And we do that because a lot of us forget we need to focus on what we already have.
Yes, exactly.
Right? If we have 10 scanners out there that are being productive or somewhat productive, how do we get them to be more productive? If we have scanners out there that aren't being productive, how do we re-engage them and get them to be more productive? How do we, what are the hurdles that we need to get past? What is that 1 degree change that we need to make that takes it from being a somewhat productive scanner to a very productive scanner, right? Or what is that 1 degree difference we need to make to really accelerate our business by growing a team? And, for me, it's, I like to focus more on the physician side because I think my business is going to grow organically just through placing scanners and having a few people out there as well selling the device. But we need to also remember, in the military, in leadership in general, we can really only manage maximum of 6 people, right? Effectively. Once it gets above 6 people, it's too much. So, when we're building a team, whether it be physicians or whether it be medical device, pharma reps, whatever it may be, we can only really lead 5-6 people maximum, right? So we don't want to, and that's why this business is set up like that, right? 4 Rubies, 4 people for Ruby, 5-6 people to get to Team Elite. And then what we do is we delegate responsibility below that, but we don't only delegate responsibility. We need to listen to our teams and make decisions together of what the best course of action is. If you've read the book Extreme Ownership, a lot of it is talking about, as a leader, we need to take ultimate ownership of everything that goes on within our organization. But we also need to find those people and have those people on our team that we're confident in enough in that they can really go out and do what they're supposed to do. And we have the full faith in them that they're going to do that and capable of doing that, right? Because they need to go out and lead 5 or 6 people maximum, right? And you have 5 or 6 people out there leading 5 or 6 people, then all of a sudden you've got 30 people, 40 people on your team that are all being led successfully. But if we try to, I talk about this when I first got into the business, I wanted to go out and place 100 scanners in the first month. I thought I was capable of doing that. I mean, it was a lofty goal. Obviously I didn't reach it because it's more difficult than that. But even if I had done that, I'm incapable of managing 100 scanners in a month. I'm probably incapable of managing 10 scanners in a month. The perfect number is probably 4, 5, or 6 scanners to manage them properly to really make sure that they're productive.
We talk about sifting and sorting, but here's something that I think is hugely important. To get those 6 people, it's not, in my opinion, to go through 100 people. It's to get to know each one of the people, of the persons or people we talk to intimately, to know their full potential, because we may be scratching the surface on something that they're not interested in. We may be talking about the science and they may be interested in I don't know, in the family. We've got to, so it's too easy to sift and sort without in-depth analysis of who we're talking to, because it takes time to get to know the people that we're talking to. It takes time for for them to know what they want and how to apply it. You know, we've just had a whole boot camp. We've had 8 weeks of boot camp with people. Very complete. John did a fantastic job of that. And just this week, we asked some of the people there, so tell me what you do. Clueless. They started saying stuff that was not irrelevant to what we've been telling them. So we don't know those people well enough to be able to bring out the best in them. So, you know, I agree with you, Dan, to work with 6 or 8 people or 4 people. Yes, 100%. But let's get to intimately know what makes them tick and to bring the best in those as well. Because it's a training thing, you know, an athlete doesn't just become an athlete, got to be trained. And that's where I think we kind of fall down sometimes, because we say, next, get somebody else. Who do you know? Who do you know? And we go and find a bunch of people. And we haven't really given those people that have given us their attention, our full attention. They've given us an attention, but we haven't corresponded with a full attention. Anyway, I'm sorry, we're going over time. Any Dan?
I'm fully, I think I might be out. I'm out of material. No, just everybody remember, you know, you're responsible for your own results. We need to take the temperature of our teams with, you know, being a thermostat or being a thermometer, but we also need to be a thermostat to really affect change within our organizations and within our environments. And those environments are not only our team and our business organization, but our physician partners in the scanner business, right? And, you know, we have a great event coming up in Boca this weekend. And, you know, we really need to start thinking more about how we can make this physician-centric, the business. We need to really focus more on the physician side of things to really make this be a huge success and make sure that every single scanner that we're placing, it can be successful. And we need to do whatever we need to do and make that commitment that if we're going to place a scanner, that we're going to do whatever we need to do to make sure that it's a success within our abilities. So thank you, Lawrence. Great. I think it was a great topic this week. Anybody have any questions, comments?
Anybody? Please comment if you have something to say or like to add something. Nobody?
This is it's Deb here. This is a great call, I think, to send to new people. I think it's amazing. There's so many great nuggets in here. I'm riding my bike, but I got to go back home and take notes. But I just think it's a lot of great information. I like taking the temperature of the office and working with what you have, because we have so many offices out there that can do 1 degree difference and make all the difference to what they're doing. So awesome call, guys. Thanks.
Well, thank you. Good. And safe ride. Safe ride. Anybody else got anything?
Thank you.
Nobody? Okay. Well, Dan, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for Deborah for commenting, and everybody for being on the call. Blessings to everybody, and have a successful week. Blessings. Yeah. Thank you.
The event in Boca is tomorrow morning. Starts tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock registration. If you can get a few last minute folks there, please do. You know, recruit for people through that area. Look them up on your phone, people in those area codes, zip codes, and see if you can't get a few extra people there. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan and Lawrence. Great call. Thank you.